mission of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission is to provide a conducive environment for the smooth airlifting of pilgrims to the holy sites and to ensure enhanced welfare, responsible leadership at all levels at the states and federal for a hitch-free pilgrimage. Now, Nigeria is said to be one of the very few countries where the country organizes a pilgrimage program for its people, which is backed by law and funded by governments. On this week's issues, we will be interacting with Reverend Yakubu Pam. He is the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, and he'll be telling us the processes, requirements to embark on pilgrimage and much more. Do stay. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Now, the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission also supervises any interested body or organization for the purposes of Christian pilgrimage to the holy sites globally. Do you intend to visit the holy sites and want to know what it takes to embark on pilgrimage? Then sit back as our guest has answers to all these questions in a moment. Thank you very much. And the program is Issues on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, and we are looking at the activities of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. And to tell us all it takes to embark on pilgrimage into holy sites around the world, we have in the studio the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. He is Reverend Yakubu Pam. It's a pleasure to have you on Issues today, sir.
Thank you, my dear sister, and thank you, viewers.
Now, before we go on the discussion, proper, we want to know the role and importance of pilgrimage to Christians.
Well, the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission is settled with the responsibility of taking Christians to holy sites around the world. The importance of that is that it's built the knowledge of a believer Christians with what he has read in the Bible to bring it to the physical where he goes there. And that gives him the ability to believe more and to be convinced more and build his own faith. And we have seen so many people who have gone to the physical, to places where they have also spiritual encounter, where they see, they make prayers and their prayers are answered, where they make some commitment with God and they come back and hear the miracles have taken place. And secondly, we also see is a place of unifying both the church and the country. Sometimes you see Plateau State, where I come from. I'm not selfish by giving an example with my state. And then Kwara State, or Lagos State, or Ekiti State. They are moving in the same plane, going for the same purpose. And when they go over there, they call them Nigerians. Nobody call them Plateau, or Kogi, or Kwara, or Lagos. No. They are Nigerians, and even they themselves, they are proud of being Nigerians. This unifies the country. It gives this aroma of togetherness, and that we are moving together. And so we can tell you more about pilgrimage, the advantages and disadvantages. I can talk about them throughout today. I will not finish.
Okay, you will still tell us more. Tell us the Nigerian story when it comes to pilgrimage to holy sites. How successful has it been so far?
Well, from the time I took over, and from my own experience that we have seen the Nigerian story of going to pilgrimage, in fact, it is one exercise that Nigerians take very serious to heart, because when it comes to religion and faith, you can see a professor kneeling down before a young man, because he's not kneeling down because of that individual based on his education or age, but he's kneeling down because of the God factor behind it. And so anything that has the aspect of God, everybody takes it serious. And so this is one exercise that whether age, education, you see everybody is the same. So you see the joy from home that I am going and we are going. It starts with that. But we also start with the purpose why the commission is being established, to make sure that we regulate people who are going and making sure that they know the purpose of going, and making sure that those ones that have ill motive of going should be fished out and denied going, so that we will not have abscondment, so that we will not have our country being blacklisted, that something have gone wrong. And so we start with those exercises, and in finishing all the exercise, we bring out together or bring together those who are the intending pilgrims that have already been approved by the commission to travel. That's where the joy starts from, and that's where they move. We have air carriers who comes to pick them. Some, because of the insecurity, they pick them from the state's airport. If the state airport is big enough for the landing of the big bus, and so they pick them from there. You see big joy. And the biggest of all is when they are landing safely. You see clapping and shouting of joy and in the promised land. And when they start moving, you see a lot of funny experience, but the whole thing is so exciting. It's so, I mean, with full of happiness, joy, that people are going to see this, and you could hear the teachings that are going on there. And we also make sure that our target is being achieved, which is making the people know that being a JP, your status have changed. Because you are now like a senior citizen of the country. And so if you were behaving somehow before, now you're supposed to change. You're supposed to be a good person and contributing positively for the building of the unity and prosperity of Nigeria, if possible, beginning from your local community and down to the larger community, which is your state, and is very, very important. So this is the experience we see in some of these places.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. I just want to ask, governments, fund this pilgrimage exercise for some Nigerians. What about individuals who want to go on their own? Do you still regulate them or supervise them?
Yes, we have a package. It's the same package that goes to government, that goes to individual, that also goes to organizations. And let me start by saying that apart from government sponsors, we have churches who are sponsoring their own flock to church members. We also have individuals who knows the blessing that is in it, that sponsors some people who do not have. And we also have individuals who would like to sponsor their parents, because there are parents who will say, this is my lifetime dream. I want to make sure I go. But the most important thing out of it all is that you know how much is the package. And second important is you know when they are going. And third important is you should be able to apply and pay. And when you pay, you will be invited. And you pass through the process of screening and all the rest. And the age limits and the physical fitness of healthiness, because when you are going, they're going to take you from one holy site to another. And especially what we're doing now is about 2 countries. You go to Jordan, and from Jordan, you move to Israel.
Okay.
And the journey is moving from one holy site to another, and from one hotel to another, and from one city to another. It's not like the Hajj where they go into one place and it is only one place you go and you pray. Our own moves from one place to another. And they give you the story of all the places.
Yes.
This is a place for Abraham. This is a place for Moses. This is a place for Jesus. This is a place to cross the Red Sea. Crossing the River Jordan and all of that. So this is how it is. So when you know all of this, you should be able to apply, and then we take you.
Okay, before now, when we hear of pilgrimage, the Christian pilgrimage, the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, I'm going to Jerusalem and all that, but we begin to hear of Jordan and the rest. We also have it on good authority that your commission, has commenced the exploration of more holy sites. How true is this, and can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, even in the Jerusalem that we always go, it's not just going to Jerusalem and becomes finished. There's a Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, actually. There's a David City in Jerusalem. There are a lot of aspects of the pilgrimage in Jerusalem, but that does not limit it there.
Okay.
Our act is made in such a way that we are given, or we have been empowered to take Christians for holy pilgrimage to all the holy sites in the world, beginning with Israel, Jerusalem. So we now have that power to do that. And based on that, when you go to Jerusalem, you just probably start with that. You have to go to Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. You also have to go to Galilee, where he walked on the water. You have to go to different mountains, Mount Transfiguration, Mount this, Mount that. All of that is part of it. So these are all the exercise. But definitely, in a summary, people say Jerusalem. That's why they say JP, Jerusalem Pilgrims. So that is very, very important. Also, at this B part of your question, when we look at the act very well, that yes, we are being employed for this. And the purpose of pilgrimage is actually to see the Bible into reality. It's not just going to a particular place and come back. And so we need to exploit other places. And that's why we went to Jordan and explored Jordan and discovered that there is Mount Nebo in Jordan, where Moses sold Israel. He saw the land, but he could not reach the land, and he died there. And also in Jordan, we also have where John the Baptist was living in the wilderness and baptizing people, calling for their repentance and baptizing them in River Jordan. It's there up to today. And the same thing in this Jordan, we also have where the children of Isaac, which is Jacob and Esau. Esau is the senior brother. Jacob wrestled with God. The river is still there in Jordan, and they met with his brother and reconciled in the same river there in River Jabbok in Jordan. So all of these things are there, and the same Jordan we see there's the place where Elijah was taken to heaven by chariots of fire. Is there when you cross the river. He was crossing when the sons of prophets were celebrating him, showing him, dividing the water into two, and then he moved with Elisha, his junior prophet, and they saw the master going to heaven with chariots of fire. And they saw him coming back, and they mentioned River Jordan, and the place is still there in Jordan up to today. And so we decided to go there and take people there. And Jesus was also walking across the Jordan. He went to some houses there in Jordan. And in fact, the descendants that are in Jordan are the descendants of Esau, which is the senior brother of Jacob. Jacob's descendants are the one in Israel, which is named after his name. When God changed his name, actually in River Jabbok in Jordan, he changed his name from Jacob to Israel. So his descendants are in Israel. Wow. So you go there and see the Bible live. So we added that, and we did it. People are very happy. They go there, and then the crossover is like you go to the Old Testament in Jordan, and then you go to the New Testament in Israel. So it's very, very unique. We've also added of recent, we're doing exploration in Turkey, because Turkey has many holy sites too. Yeah, the history of Turkey is quite very vast. You cannot do without the Bible days, the days of the Roman Empire, the days of the Jews being in exile. All that is in Turkey. And Apostle Paul, which is of the New Testament, his house is in Turkey, in Tarsus.
Wow.
Tarsus is in Turkey. And then where the Christians were first called Christians in Antioch is in Turkey. The church is still there, and it was like a nickname. So all of that, these are the history that you can get from there.
Wow, it's so good to know. Let's take a break now, sir.
Thank you.
You're watching Issues on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, and of course, we're looking at the activities of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. Just stay, the conversation continues in just a moment. Thank you very much for staying tuned, and stay with me looking at the activities of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. Is the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam. Okay, Reverend, before the break, we're talking about exploration of more holy sites. But I think Nigerians will want to know, this exercise, is it all year round, or there are specific periods when this exercise takes place?
Yes, we have the main pilgrimage comes between November, December.
Okay.
And depends on how large pilgrims are on ground. So if there are many pilgrims on ground, we have it in batches, like the main one we had last year from December 16th, we had about 10 batches, and each batch takes not less than 300 pilgrims. So that is that, and then it takes us from December up to April of this year. So the same thing when you finish from April down to June, July, you have the Easter pilgrimage. Okay. So like now we're running the Easter pilgrimage. We're on Easter pilgrimage.
Okay.
So the space we have from July, August, September, we're preparing for the main pilgrimage that will come from either November or December.
Okay.
It depends on when we're ready. But those are the periods. These are the two main pilgrimages. Apart from that too, we have the CPOs, which is those independent registered organization with us, who must accompany a tour organization that must register with CSC first and come to register with us, and then be guided. And people travel through them, but we are supervising them. They pay all through us, and whatever they are going to do, they do it through us.
Sure. Okay, that's good to know. Now, the fourth batch of Christian pilgrims, as for the Easter pilgrimage, we arrived from Nigeria, from Israel and Jordan just recently. How would you assess the Easter pilgrimage exercise?
Well, the Easter pilgrimage is moving very smoothly. Like the fourth batch or so arrived just last night, and it has been very smooth. Pilgrims who have gone with the Nigerian contingent for pilgrimage, some have testified that they met people from US, a group of pilgrims from US in Israel, and they slept on the floor because hotels were all full. But to the glory of God, Nigerians, they have never had that experience, because the commission is always making sure that the accommodations and whatever welfare is taken care of.
Okay, any case of abscondment of pilgrims?
Yes, we will not lack it, but for so far so good, we have only few. It's just not up to 2% with what we have been doing, because we started with zero, completely zero. But when you are doing all of this, you also get the bad act, which we're tracing where it happened. But in a nutshell, we are almost at zero level at this moment, and we're so happy that this regime turns to be one of the best in making sure we fight against abscondment.
Okay. Now, you will marking 3 years, as the head of the Christian Pilgrims Commission. What will you consider your major strides and challenges?
Well, yes, next month I will be marking 3 years by the special grace of God, July. What I will consider first as my own success story that I will leave behind to remember every day I wake up from my bed is being the first person who initiated the pilgrimage to Jordan.
Okay.
And today Jordan has become a major place of pilgrimage. And the second aspect of it is still Jordan, that being the first person who met with the Jordanian authority, the government of Jordan, and they agree giving us visas as Nigerian at arrival. That can only happen with us and West African countries. But we open that door that when you are arriving, they give you the visa. And beyond that, they are also opening the door for multiple visas for Nigerians. And so that bilateral relationship that is between us and Jordan, I am so happy about it. Okay. The second aspect of it is that I have broke record that this issue of abscondment is almost dying in the commission. It was something that you hardly hear. Every now and then is a story that people run away from pilgrimage. But today, with a very good discipline system and inspection, is almost gone. So the other aspect is that I will always mention that the commission will be proud that we now have a direct flight under my leadership, which started just a month ago, that we have a direct flight from Nigeria to Israel. And it is being employed by one of us, an indigenous person from Nigeria, not from anywhere. And so we are very proud that these are things we fought for and they have come into reality. I can mention a lot of success stories, both within the commission, with staff, and with management, and all the rest. But let's limit it to some of these key things that are there, and there are more that are on the way. The challenges I have had is, one, since I resumed office, we always have a budget being met and being approved by Mr. President for every operation, and that budget takes in the federal government to put in doctors and nurses who will go with the pilgrims, pastors, preachers who will also go to be preaching to them, and then also for us to handle a lot. And sometimes we get people whom you suspect from the airport after flying with them. You suspect them as they will run away. You deport them back. So we have all of this into budget. But since I came, I had only one budget being given to me, which is 2020 budget. Up to today, I have been working with our budget. I will have been stagnant to say, let me wait until when I have money, but I had to continue. But I discovered there is a decision taken by the administration of President Buhari, the immediate past president, and he stopped doing that to Hajj Commission since 2018. Well, he stopped our own in 2020. So to me, it was a big challenge, but I overcame. Today I can say the pilgrimage exercise we're doing now is the number 6th. Doing it without money. And I thank God for the staff that they are going and coming on a voluntary, nobody asked for escort and the rest.
That's very good to know. We are really running out of time. We have so much to say. But before I let you go, what are your final thoughts on the issues? Or just tell us, in a nutshell, for Christians who wants to go on a pilgrimage, what are the basic criteria?
First and foremost, you want to go for pilgrimage as a Christian, you should know the package. The package is 1.5 million naira. And that package takes you 8 nights and 9 days outside the country. And it takes you, all is involved in it is the flight, going and coming, accommodation for the number of hotels you're going to be is involved. Transportation on road from anywhere you're going is involved. And so a lot is involved in that 1.5 without traveling, basic traveling allowance inside it. Okay. So you must know that one first. Then you pay, then we can take you to the next step.
Thank you very much. Indeed, Reverend, we have to end the discussion at this point.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you here, the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, that's issues for this week. Join us again same time next week. Till then, I remain Ifoma Ojinta. Bye for now.